Jofra Archer is running in wearing lights. For a moment, that is a great enough feel-good story. After injuries, surgeries, short spells in white ball cricket, just seeing him at the most famous end in cricket, running in the same direction where he knocked out Steve Smith, is enough. It's joy. It felt like maybe we would never see this again. And if he did bowl, maybe it wouldn't be the same anyway. He was beyond his period of supernatural elasticity and youthful athleticism after his injuries. Like what happened to Jeff Thompson after ruining his shoulder. Tomo's career didn't end. His reputation and talent kept him around, but he just wasn't the same after. More like an actor playing Tomo in a film with a wig on. Archer also can't be the same. Being a fast bowler means being hurt every single day of your life. You bowl through scar tissue, without toenails, and despite microfractures in your spine that haven't even been picked up yet. Pure fast bowling, like in Lords in 2019, doesn't last forever. Sometimes it bends towards fast medium, occasionally it breaks entirely. The previous delivery Jofra Archer bowled in Test cricket was 82 miles per hour. That was on day one at Ahmedabad in 2021. Strictly fast medium. This one at Lords, a loosener, was at 87.4. Not fast, but certainly hinting at it. Archer could still bowl, and he could bowl fast, but could he still bowl Test match fast? Not for 24 balls spread over 2 hours of strategic timeouts, but in spell after spell, day after day, time after time. Or I suppose, to be clearer, could he turn back time? Back to when Jofra Archer running in brought joy to everyone who wasn't facing him. I have travelled the cricketing world, and so I've collected two things: the phone numbers of random taxi drivers and overseas SIM cards. Rideshare apps have fixed the first part, and Saily is doing the second. Now, all you need is their eSIM on whatever plan works for you. You activate it and you can use it anywhere in the cricketing world. It helps you save money. It is a global solution to a global problem. Stop fiddling with tiny SIMs and get the one that does it all. Go to Saily.com Good Areas and use the code Good Areas to get an exclusive 15% off your first purchase. Fly free with Saily. Jasprit Bumrah is such a big force on a cricket match that he seems to warp them, whether he's bowling or not. At times in Australia, when he didn't have the ball, it was like he was sucking the energy out of the team. India were one side when he was at the crease and another without it. And it's not always bad, because this is known as the Ewing theory, named after the Jamaican centre for the New York Knicks, Patrick Ewing. It was coined by sports writer Bill Simmons to explain the paradox of how some teams get better when they lose their best player, at least for a little while. Because the Knicks thrive suspiciously well without him, suggesting that the gravitational pull of a superstar can sometimes warp the team around them. So if you can strip away the safety net, suddenly the supporting cast plays freer, the ball moves cleaner, and the system breathes again. It's less about talent and more about liberation. Like cutting the lead singer of the band only to discover that the drummer can sing and also write really good songs. It's a little misleading to say that India lose more when Jasprit Bumrah doesn't play than when he does, because that involves where they're played and also a simply stunning number of collapses. But even within a game, we've seen it. India is a different team when he has the ball in his hand. It's not quite like when Richard Hadley was bowling at one end and Graham Gooch said that at the other end was the Ilford second 11. But there is quite clearly an aura gap. When Jasprit Bumrah gets on a roll, it feels like he can take a wicket every single ball. And at the other end at Lords, Mohammad Siraj and Akashdeep, who are both awesome at Edgbaston, are now in perpetual exasperation. Bumrah isn't really like Ewing. If there was a centre from the NBA he's more like, it would be the Denver Nuggets' Nikola Jokic, a player unlike any before him, with the passing and vision of a point guard and in a nearly 7-foot Serbian spruce type body. The Nuggets have the best player in the world, and when he's on the court, they are obviously great. The minute he hits the bench, they almost automatically become the worst team. It's like their players get sucked into a black hole, unable to play normal basketball again. But sometimes Jokic doesn't play. And in those games, the Nuggets often steal a win, because Their players know how to play regular basketball, but that only works when they haven't been playing Jokic ball. There is no bowler in the history of the game like Bumrah. Siraj and Akash are clearly international quality seamers, but they are normal. And when they're at the other end to him, they must feel supplementary, like the combined third nipple of Indian cricket. When Bumrah doesn't play, they return to regular form, which is quality international seamers. Jasprit Bumrah is so good at cricket that he almost appears to bend everything about him. But when he is hurt, or when India are worried about him getting that way, they become a different side in his absence. Both Bumrah and Archer have actions that really shouldn't allow them to bowl very much. They are both incredibly fast, which is already a problem. But they also force their bodies into incredible stress at the moment of release. These are not normal fast bowling actions. Their injuries, though, are different. Archer's is mostly the elbow. His hyperextension gives him his pace, but it also means that the force that he puts through that part of his body just can't sustain it. Bumrah also has hyperextension of the elbow, but he hasn't had the same kind of injuries that should follow from that. He gets stress fractures in his back, something that Archer has also had, but less often. So when either bowler stretches or grabs at something, it makes you feel nervous. It's another reason you need to celebrate every ball from them, because athleticism is a slow melting ice cube. So when you see Archer at mid-off folding his back, you wince. When he takes the tape off his arm, you hope KRL has asked and not that something is wrong. And when he stretches on the boundary, you have to remind yourself that this is just normal, because you know how fragile what they have is. They are one slip disc away from medium pace. So frantically, you check the speeds of Archer's deliveries just to be sure. His first spell, the average speed was 90. That is fire. The second, 86. That's more of a concern. But he's back to 87 for the third. So it's okay again. Every fast rising ball that Karan Nair drops his hands on, or bouncer that Rahul sways away from, is a victory. For Bumrah, every wicket is. Perhaps no bowler in the history of our game has been more expected to take a wicket, no matter the ball, pitch, or batter, than Jasprit Bumrah. Some of that is just the incredible weight of expectation from a country of 1 billion people. But it's also his skill. When he's on song, it feels like every ball is going to break through. Unlike Thanos, Bumrah is actually inevitable. Yet, he is a defensive bowler first. This wicket was tricky, and England decided to go slow. But even within that, England scored at more than 3.6 runs at over against the other three seamers. Akash was actually up at 4s. But against Bumrah, they went at 2.74. Bumrah ball can slow down Baz ball. And yet he was the biggest wicket-taking threat and the best defender. He's a shape-shifting samurai with a nuclear sword that he uses as a scalpel. England's middle order is their machine, and Bumrah has bowled Brook, Root and Stokes. Bowled them. Didn't nick them off or slip one onto their pads. Broke their stumps of the two best bats and the captain on a flattish wicket with little support from his two lieutenants. It was exciting and fun, and let's be honest, but nothing like Jofra Archer did. Before he even had the ball in his hand, the crowd could already see him heading for the crease, and they were energized. The roar for him coming in to deliver the first two looseners at 87.4 miles per hour and 85.8 was already incredible. The third ball. Going up against the best young batting talent in generations, Archer sprinted in with giant golden chains bouncing around from chin to chest, a white sleeve over his problematic elbow, and he released the ball on a length near leg stump. The seam was almost perfect. And when it hit the string, it nipped away from Jaiswal, whose wonderful hands couldn't help but chase, and he edged to Brook at slip. But Archer didn't run to the catcher. He sprinted the other way, screaming into the air, letting out 4 years of pain, worry, physio appointments, surgeons, insurance claims, and heartbreak in one moment in the North London air. It felt like he could have run forever, if not for slamming into Shoaib Bashir's chest. You'd be forgiven for thinking that the two are best friends. such as the beeline that Archer seemed to make for him. But the spinner was actually in high school when Jofra's last ball was delivered. But none of that matters in the moment, because Archer didn't know if he would ever do this again. Steam in from the pavilion end and take out one of the best bats in the game. Joy. Fast bowling is about broken bones and wickets. It hurts, it embarrasses, it leaves a mark. But at its very best, it brings joy. We are used to the joy of Jasprit Bumrah. It comes so often, and like today, in bundles. The England bowler's well had dried up. Perhaps it would never be used again. But today, just Jofra Archer running in whites brings joy. His wicket brought more.
Ross Taylor couldn't see at night or when the clouds were in. Eventually he had to see an eye specialist who would fix his eyesight. In the 2 years before the change, he still averaged more than 50 in international cricket. The top level of batting talent can basically see in the dark. That is who we are talking about in our new book, The Art of Batting. Head over and order your copy today.